Videos currently on YouTube about backlighted 3D printed panels are really poor or either non-existent. In this video, we're gonna show you how we got results like this on a test panel of ours. Let's get to the design part. Here in Fusion you can see all our 4 iterations, and starting from the first one over here, you can see the top surface looks the same on all of these, but on the back is where the differences become evident. In our first iteration we had this transparent layer on the back, and then on the top we have one layer of white, and this was in our minds the best way to do it. Here we have our second iteration, where we realized that we don't need the transparent filling on the back because air lets light pass through easier than obviously plastic. We removed the plastic part and we made the white part a couple of layers thick, and this resulted in this sort of looking panel, and the results were way better in backlighting performance, as you can see when we compare these. Our third option even further optimized the backlighting pass-through by adding these deep grooves in the panel on the backside, and these allows us more light to get access to this white text area here. The problem with this design though was evident, as it lets light pass through the gray area as well, and we did our fourth and final iteration to combat this issue. In the fourth and current version we have the backside extruded out, but you can see the difference comes in this about 6 layers thick gray part that is extruded from the text. And this enables us to have backlighting that passes through very easily to the white text, but it isn't shining through the gray parts. Now that I have shown you our iterations and why the fourth option is the best, I'm gonna show you exactly how to make this sort of panel step by step, and you can repeat it at home. Okay, so first we created this sketch, and then we made a rectangle sized 100 by 50 millimeters. Then we created 4 3mm holes. And then we created one hole to the middle of it, which is 7mm in diameter. And after that we were ready to extrude it by 3mm. And while we're at it, why not make some 3mm fillet for it to make it look good. And after all of these previous steps we could now start to do the text, so we needed to create a sketch on the top layer for that. Text can be made by selecting the text tool, and we made this rectangle here, which we will place the text, and we wrote their test sample. The height will be 4mm with bun script semi-condensed font, and typically we don't use any bolding, but you can use that. The minimum font size should be about 2.9 to 2.6mm, but it of course depends on the nozzle size. This is good for 0.2mm nozzle. For this test sample we also made another layer, which is this circle around the hole, and we made it about 1mm in size. And once we had every piece of backlight done here, we do this very important step to explode the text. And just like that we have basically the backlight layer sketch complete. And then we select these parts and press invert selection. So this is the fastest way to select the text. Then we just unselect the parts we don't want to extrude down. And yeah, after that we extrude it by our layer height, which is minus 0.14 millimeters. And then we multiply that, it is times 2 because we need 2 layers. Then we create a new component of it from this menu here and press OK. And just like that we have this new component here, which includes the backlight text. And here comes an important step again. We need to create a component from this body, which will be named main body.
After that we can go to the top menu, press that combine tool and then select the main body from here and then select from the texts all of the bodies there and press cut and keep tools. And just like that we can see we have cut the text from the main body. We can hide this for example and see it is cut the body. The next thing to do is of course to do the square opening to the back side of the board. So let's do that next. So first make sure to hide the text component and then open the sketch for the text, so it makes easier to do this next sketch on the bottom side. Then make a square or rectangle on the back side, just like you want to do, and it should be pretty much the same dimension as the text, but just a little bit wider so the light gets through it better. Then select the previously created components you just made and then extrude them to the top layer, just like so. Now will be the last and most important step to select all of the remaining parts underside here. So select them and all of the text too, and after that we extrude it by our layer height times 4, and that will ensure the light doesn't bleed after we print this panel, and it should be perfect. And after we apply this material on it or different color, it is so much easier to understand how this looks.
Now that we have text and the main body all modeled in and ready to export, ready to 3D print, one thing I suggest you do is go ahead and go in the bodies, select all the bodies, click F2 and rename these something like main, so it renames all the bodies. Go same with the text here, select all the text, click F2, name it text, and they are now called text. This way, now that we are going to be exporting these, it's going to be easy to see on Bambu Slicer which are going to be the text and which is the main body, because it's kind of hard to realize which is which, and you will see what I mean when we are in there. So we're going to make one more new component. Right click on the top here, new component. We'll call it full panel. Click it not axial. Creates a new body here, and we'll just drag our text and main body here, and it combines into this one thing. And here we can go ahead and save as mesh. And you want to use 3MF, one file, and select OK. And then you can export it to wherever you want.
Like we are exporting to our Segway, to our sponsor.
PCBWay. PCBWay is a parts manufacturer who provides custom PCBs, CNC parts, and many other services to hobbyists and companies alike. Their simple instant quote tool gives you a really precise price estimate even before ordering, and their customer service is super helpful. One thing I personally love about PCBWay's website is their 24-hour production status transparency. They will update your product's manufacturing status live, and you can see exactly how your order is progressing. Their cheap prices and fast services are definitely worth checking out, and you can do that by clicking the first link down in the description. And here we are in BambuLab Studio, and we're gonna bring in our panel here, our 3MF file. This is some random bug in BambuLab right now, which says the 3MF file was generated by an older version of Bambu. This just click OK, it doesn't matter. And this is another bug, which it says the object is too small. Just click no, it's not. And then lastly, file contains several objects positioned at multiple heights. Click yes here. And you can see our panel with the text appears here. Key thing with the panel here is that you want to rotate it with the text facing the bed. This yields in the best results. so you can do that. And here, the text against the bed will keep a really nice and uniform texture, unlike if you were printing it face up. Now to select the colors, even though this is okay colors right now, but if yours didn't look like this when you started, you can go into the process and click on the object, and it opens every single object as an individual component here. Just select a color, in our case the text, right click and set filament for selected items. I want to select this Bambu PLA basic white filament, and you can see selected the color. For me the gray is fine for the main body. We can click on slice plate, and with the settings that I'm using, it takes about 2 hours and 14 minutes to print this. Now it doesn't show you the different colors here. I don't know why that is, but it does print them in dual color regardless, and you see that it does pretty nicely. So if you want to check out the settings that we use, that we have perfected over time, you can find them from our website vasims.fi, and there you can read quite a lot about 3D printing in general and find our custom models and even physical products to buy if you're interested. Go check that out. Now last thing to do is print these panels and check how they actually look.
Here you can see the contraption we made to test our panels for you guys. And we have all of the iterations here. This is the first one, and as you can see, the layer lines are not so good on the top of it, and most importantly, the light ain't shining so well through the panel and through the texts. We will now show the second panel. This is the second iteration. This is printed upside down on the bed, and you can see the text is already so much better, but it is still not shining as well as it could, and we can improve that in the next iteration. Here a layer was so thin that it could shine through the gray bars, and that's why we made the fourth iteration, which came out nearly perfectly. And this is the last panel. We unfortunately forgot to raise the layer height inside the D letter, so that's why it is still shining through that, but it looks perfect and the light shines perfectly through it. That is it for today's video. I hope you learned a lot, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.